of film critique. It's Van Connor. Happy Friday, Van. How are you?
Well, thank you, Lily. You always give me just the most pleasant reception imaginable. I can't possibly feel anything less than elated every time you intro me.
Oh, good. That is the general plan, lovely Van. Now, Van, I am excited because we are going to be talking about your movie of the year, which I have to admit, when I read the title, I took myself down a totally different Babe-related route, but we're not going there just yet. Let's start with Snake Eyes.
Yeah, I mean, brace yourself this week, Lily, because you and I have had some bonkers film review sessions together over the last couple of years. I promise you, this week features one of the most insane yet, but alas, it is not Snake Eyes, although it is pretty insane that we are now on the third attempt that Paramount has put into attempting to make a cinematic universe out of G.I. Joe. People didn't show up for the first one, they didn't show up for the second one, but they think that Henry Golding will be the guy that will bring it home for them this time around.
Okay.
I can tell you, it's basically the G.I. Joe origin story reframed through the prism of the fan favorite side character, in much the way X-Men was with Wolverine. If you reframe G.I. Joe through the eyes of a rebooted and revised origin story for the faceless ninja Snake Eyes. So, of course, let's go and get a devilishly handsome man like Henry Golding to play him as he infiltrates the underworld. And we know this because obviously we know the franchise exists and we know who this character is. He's literally the mask on the poster, to infiltrate the underworld so that he can dispose of those good looks under a giant rubber mask. But here's a clip of them setting up G.I. Joe sequels to come.
Should we be worried?
About Scarlet?
No. Major O'Hara is with the Joes. What?
An elite global counter-terrorism unit. They're the good guys.
Kapow! Punch, punch, punch. I'm glad to hear that at least, the evil British character, at least we've evolved to a female at some point, but we're still evil. Never mind, Van.
Do you know what, though? To be fair, Lily, I'm smack talking, and actually, I enjoyed it. I thought, of the three G.I. Joe movies, this is academically the best one. But that is like saying that you found the best particular vegan Crocs, you know? Like, no one was particularly asking for the best G.I. Joe movie. It's kind of like, I died of the best tropical illness. It's one of those weird things. It's a very low bar. And I say that as someone who thinks the first G.I. Joe, the one with Channing Tatum from 2009, was quite a fun attempt at turning a Saturday morning cartoon into a live-action movie. I mean, what did you want? A masterpiece from that idea? Of course you weren't going to get it. So instead, this time around, you get a basically serviceable, pretty decently enjoyable, effectively techno-futurist samurai romp in the G.I. Joe universe. It only falls apart when you start doing the actual setup for the G.I. Joe stuff, when they start cutting aside and be like, oh, by the way, G.I. Joe exists. Henry Golding's perfectly likable. Andrew Koji steals it. It's a shame that Robert Schwenke is directing it, because although he's perfectly fine, he is basically giving us the whitest samurai movie since the actual movie The Last Samurai, about a white samurai. But other than that, I mean, I would argue you need a John Woo or someone like that for this. Like, I would love to see what Corey Yoon or someone like that would have made of this. But for what we could have had versus other G.I. Joe movies, pretty good. Fine, go see it. It's a shame they're dropping it on digital next week, but if you want to see it on a big screen, have a good time, see it this weekend in cinemas.
Okay, I enjoyed the reference to vegan Crocs there. I wasn't expecting it, but I liked it, Van. And, Henry Golding's obviously having a lot of fun in lockdown. Good for him. Now, let's move on to Pig. Now, take us to Nicolas Cage's, perhaps his renaissance. Who knows?
Oh, I mean, first of all, you know, the Recageissance is a long time, you know, in coming. According to several friends of mine, I've worked with closely with several people for many years who have championed that Nicolas Cage is actually the greatest actor who's ever lived. And to be fair, he has won an Oscar for being the best actor.
Yeah.
Now, I will argue that this movie is better than is a better performance than the performance he gave in the one he won Best Actor for. But still, that was then. This is now. Nicolas Cage is a truffle hunter in the movie Pig.
Of course
His
he is.
beloved foraging pig. Of course he is. He lives in the Oregon woods. He's basically a hermit. He doesn't like people. He doesn't believe in barbers or shaving at any point. And one day, our break into his home and beat him up and steal his beloved foraging pig. And he has to venture back out into the world and his own mysterious past, wink, wink, to recover his swine. I've got to clear. To be fair, that setup on its own is great, right? That's a good setup. That sounds like I'm pitching you Taken or John Wick. Nicolas Cage wants his pig back, but it's so much more. And that's why our clip is Nicolas Cage talking a chef out of selling out.
They're not real. You get that, right? None of it is real. The critics aren't real. The customers aren't real. Because this isn't real. You aren't real.
Okay.
Derek, why do you care about these people? They don't care about you. None of them. They don't even know you. Because you haven't shown them. Every day you'll wake up and there'll be less of you. You live your life for them and they don't even see you. You don't even see yourself.
Oh my goodness gracious me.
It's amazing. It's honestly, it's amazing, Lily. You got to see this movie. You think for 10 minutes you know what movie this is, and then rug pulling time. And you think you know what movie this is, and then 10-minute rug pulling time. I love this movie. This movie felt like, I hadn't felt like this in a movie since, of all the most bizarre things, I'd forgotten 2004, 2005 Paul Walker thriller Running Scared, which I honestly thought I had hallucinated. It was so just wonderfully playful with my expectations because I watched it late at night. This is great fun. Cage has not been this good in years. Certainly since his performance in Joe, at any rate, I don't think he's been this good. It's an academically very sturdy film. First-time director, co-writer Michael Sarnowski. Amazing work here. But this is, I think, to be honest, the star of the show is Cage. He's so good in this. This is the Nicolas Cage that won that Best Actor. This is the Nicolas Cage who was trolling you when he decided to go and make a John Woo movie with John Travolta and go and make a Michael Bay movie with Sean Connery. This is old school Cage right now. I would wholeheartedly back him for Best Actor next year at the Oscars for this performance. I hope he gets remembered. It seems to be getting the critical acclaim that suggests it might come up again around award season, but that performance is top-notch. There's good support from Alex Wolff, and is Alex Wolff or Nat Wolff? It was one of the two Wolff brothers as his sort of sidekick, his Jesse from Breaking Bad, effectively. And there is a very subversive turn from Adam Arkin, who you used to see play a nice guy, but it is Cage's show, and he's so good in it.
Wow. And my favourite quote from Variety is, it says, "She's a diva. Hear how Nicolas Cage's pig co-star Brandy went from farmyards to feature film." So,
do you know what?
Yeah.
My absolute favourite, I think at one point, when I say it changes every 10 minutes, at one point it played like the movie You Were Never Really Here. And I texted a friend of mine saying, "You were never really bacon." And I wish to God the movie had stayed like that so I could have taken away that as sort of the pull quote from this.
I love it. Van, I'm going to watch it. Thank you as always. It's been a joy. Have a lovely weekend. Thanks, Van.
Pleasure, Lily.
Bye-bye.